Wash it on. We got a lot to do today.
Wash your body.
215-592-9494 to get aboard. A lot of Phillies reaction and a look forward to what should be a great night at the ballpark. Tonight, we'll get to some trade rumors, obviously some injuries over the weekend. Then now we're starting to pile up a little bit here, and some Eagles stuff and NFL stuff to get to later on. Hugh, overall, though, another good weekend. The Phillies win. They win at home. Last night, disappointing. Taijuan Walker is basically batting practice out there, and they do lose Brandon Marsh to what we hope is not a significant injury, but obviously, it's a hamstring, so we'll see there. But overall, Hugh, again, the Phillies play good baseball. They, for the most part, pitch really well. Sosa with the big home run on Friday night, and then Saturday you get the bullpen coming in after Ranger gets the injury scare, and the Phillies just do what they do, which is win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, no pressure here. It's just funny that before the game started, people were sending me pictures of Taijuan Walker. There were a few people that had jerseys. They didn't have his name on the back of them.
Oh, that doesn't count then.
But they had the 99. It kind of does count, Joe, a little bit. But tough night. Tough night for Taijuan. Like I said, like Brian Dawkins had his impact lunch, his dinner last night. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of watching the game without the sound. Gave up 2 runs early.
Yeah, because he throws batting practice, man.
Yeah, it was 2 runs early, man. That was a tough one. That was real tough.
Yeah, look, the Phillies had a chance. They came back. He gave it up again. Look, last night was not their best baseball. They left a lot of guys on base. They had the Marsh injury. But overall, there's different ways to look at the weekend. They win 2 out of 3 yesterday. And, clearly watching them, Turnbull should be in the rotation and Taijuan should not. It's clear as day right now. That's something they're going to have to resolve. They dodged a major bullet, though, Saturday. Because when that comebacker hit Ranger Suarez in the hand, my first thought was, oh, no. I mean, that's the kind of comebacker that could have broken his pitching hand. We had a moment Saturday, Hugh, that could have changed the season, and we're lucky they're lucky. It seems like it's just a bruise, and he's going to be mostly fine here.
Yeah, man, but, this is the part of the year where, like, those outliers, those intangibles that come into play, because you're talking about Marsh being hurt, having a little hamstring thing. You talk about Trey Turner a few weeks ago. Like, this is the part of the season or this is the part of baseball that you cannot factor in. The fact that injuries can occur and crazy things have happened. They're on a great run, and like you said, it was just a scare. But you have to try to do everything in your power to try to stay as healthy as you possibly can around
Well,
this
you
time.
can. Hopefully Marsh could be okay. We'll get more to this injury stuff coming up in a little bit and maybe some trade ideas if they do need an outfielder here. 215-592-9494. But tonight, everyone, I consider it a really cool night because the Phillies will welcome back, and we will welcome back Rhys Hoskins.
Hey.
The Rhys Hoskins return tonight with the Milwaukee Brewers. They're actually playing really good baseball. First place in the National League Central. We're going out to the game with another pair of tickets to give away Wednesday. We're going to go see Rhys Hoskins and the Brewers. And when he arrives here, obviously he's in town with the Brewers. I actually just heard a few minutes ago as we were coming in the studio, Joe DeCamera said he hopes that Rhys listens to WIP today to hear what people are saying about him. And I have no idea if Rhys Hoskins will listen. I have no idea if he listened back when he actually played here. But if he did listen to when he played here, he would know there was a lot of ups and downs with Rhys. And I'll say myself from the beginning, I loved him when he first arrived. I couldn't wait till he got to the big leagues. And then after watching him for a while, you have those frustrations with a player, those little things you nitpick.
Ebb and flow.
Yeah, and I harped probably too much on what he didn't do and not enough on what he did do really well. And I'll say this as Rhys arrives back into town tonight for his first game against the Phillies. I wish he was still on the team. I wish he was still here. I wish he was still a Philly. He was a really good Philly. He bridged the gap between the time the team was bad until the time the team got good. In 2017, when they finally called him up in August of that year, it was the first time you had something to look forward to watching every night in about 6 years. It was the first time that you wanted to turn the TV on to watch a Phillies player. That's how electric his arrival was here to Philadelphia. He was a consistently good performer. He was electric in his first, a month and a half here in the big leagues. He bridged that gap for a fan base that we had nothing to watch for a very long time. And, as his legacy, you think back to what he was as a Philly, it's this moment. I mean, he woke up a fan base that had all this pent-up frustration for 11 years with this moment, October 2022.
And the pitch. Swung on! Did it! Crushed! And the Phillies are going to lead it 4-0. A 3-run home run for Rhys Hoskins. His first postseason home run. And he's sprinting around third base. What a here at Citizens Bank Park.
It was an incredible moment. A moment I've never been in a louder arena, stadium, park in my entire life. I don't know if I ever will again. And that was Rhys. And then in the NLCS, he had home run after home run to help them beat the Padres at 5. 215-592-9494. I miss Rhys Hoskins. I wish he was still here. I was harder on him when he was here than I probably should have been. And Hugh, a couple months ago, I said they miss him. Obviously, it's tough to sit here with a straight face today and say they really miss him. They have the best record in the National League, right? They've gotten by just fine without him. I miss him. I wish he was still on the team. Hugh, where are you on as Rhys Hoskins comes back tonight? It's going to be the story of the day in Philadelphia. Where are you on him? Do you wish he was still on the team?
Nah. I mean, tremendous amount of respect for what he was when he was here and what he did. But this team is 41-19, Joe. I mean, and not saying that it probably wouldn't be better with him on it, but they didn't miss a beat. And that's what sports is in a nutshell. You know, I know a lot of people talk about it. I think we said it a few weeks ago. You cheer for the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back.
Totally.
He's not here anymore.
The core value of this show.
Yeah, and he's going to be a guy that I would not be surprised if the fans, gave him a standing O. But it's time to move on. It was time to move on. It was unfortunate that he exited the way that he did. There was some hope that he would have probably played last year a little bit. If they'd have made it to the World Series.
He probably would have.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So, I mean, you enjoy the time that you had him when he was here. And, you just keep it moving. That's what sports is. You got to keep it moving.
So I agree with you for the most part. It's always about the name on the front, not the name on the back. But there obviously are certain players, you like them, right? You like their style. You like their personality. And it's weird he's not here anymore. The more we watch this team, and they're obviously reaching their highest height now of this Dombrowski era, it does feel a little weird he's not part of it because he was part of the beginning. He helped them go from bad to pretty good, right? He helped them get to that World Series 2022. You mentioned the reaction tonight. A couple months ago, Rhys Hoskins was asked what he expects when he comes back to Philadelphia. Here's what he said, and I couldn't disagree more what to expect tonight. Here's Rhys a couple months ago and what he thought it would be like when he got back here.
All right, you saw it for years. You went back, you were at Philly. Guys that played there would come back. You know how they greet guys who used to play in Philly. Are you going to get booed when you go back to Philly?
My guess is yes. My guess is yes. My guess is yes. I'm hoping. I don't know if hope is the right word, but if I'm getting booed, it probably means that the Brewers are doing something to be winning the game or to win the game. So I'll kind of root for that as a way to make sure that we, the Brewers, are coming out on top. But I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to see all those guys, those relationships that I talked about. I'm excited to compete against them, wearing a different uni. But I said this when I signed. I hope the Brewers win at the end of the day.
Well, and he should, right? He's a Brewer now. But Hugh, he joked about getting booed tonight. I think there's no chance. Rhys, he's getting a standing ovation tonight.
I would think that would be the case. People love this guy here, and he was a Philly. I think that's what they're gonna boo him to lose. I mean, they're gonna want him to lose.
Sure, of course.
But they're not gonna. I don't think he's gonna get booed, man. I can't see that happening. Not in the city.
And
no.
I don't even think it's going to be just like a decent cheer. I think it's going to be a 40,000 people standing ovation, and I think it should be for Rhys Hoskins. The guy delivered a lot for a long time here in Philadelphia. He helped this team make a World Series. 215-592-9494. It's how you hop aboard. Do you wish Rhys was still a Philly? I mean, I know we're saying this with them at 41-19. Hugh, I recognize that. They haven't missed him in terms of wins and losses. I still think they are going to need to go get a bat at the deadline that will effectively kind of replace what they don't have with him anymore. But the team's fine. It's just a matter of I wish he was still on the team. The team with him, I think, would have been even a little bit better than they are now, even though they're an enormously good team the way they are. And it's funny, like when you don't see something for a while, you realize what you had. And I miss his game not seeing it every day.
Yeah, I mean, it was something about that. I didn't get a chance to see it because, like I said, when I got here, unfortunately, he was hurt. But the way that people talked about it and how they felt when he was down there laying on the ground, you could tell that he was going to be missed, and they cared a lot about him, though.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah, and we were there for that. We were there in spring training when he went down. And there is kind of a weird no closure to it because he plays in the World Series here before they get there. There's excitement for last year. He goes down and never gets to take another at-bat as a Philly. 215-592-9494. It's how you hop aboard here. Do you wish Rhys Hoskins was still a Philly? Of course, your reaction to the weekend